Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome back to the Cricket Happening Show. This on a Sunday on 13 February, and it's going to be an exciting cricket show. The reason being, Australia went on to win the second T20 in a sensational match where the scores were tied at the end of 20 overs. It went into the super over, and Australia won the match in the super over against Sri Lanka, but there was a lot of drama in the match. There was some real excitement, especially in the last 3 overs. When 46 runs were required of the last 3 overs, the Sri Lankan batsmen, the other day in the first T20, the Sri Lankans showed that they are really a force to reckon with. And today they went the distance, one could say, as they stretched the Australians, and the Australians would have been really surprised with some real lower order batting coming in very handy, and Pathum Nissanka playing a great hand of 73 runs. But in the end, Josh Hazelwood, with his brilliant bowling, managed to keep things tight and won the game, and he was the man of the match as well. So this is the one which is going to be the centerpiece, no doubt about it. Other than that, we'll go to the IPL 2022, but I would like to keep my eyes trained on the Australia versus Sri Lanka. But right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you to the real excitement before I really get into the brass tacks, as we call it. So Australia, Sri Lanka, the second T20, Australia taking a 2-0 lead in the super over against Sri Lanka, and they now lead the 5-match series 2-0. So winning lead, taking the lead in the series. Australia 164 for 6, Sri Lanka 164 for 8. Match was tied, but I'm going to just run you through what happened in those last 3 overs. There was tremendous entertainment. I think it was if I'm not wrong, it was the 18th over. In the 17th over, in fact, there were three overs left. 46 runs were required from 18 balls. Hasranga de Silva was at the crease. And Hasranga Silva, in that particular over, he actually hit Cummins for a 6 over deep mid wicket. As you know, he's a $1 million baby in the Indian Premier League. In 2022, he has been roped in, and he showed his class here by hitting a 4, which was an edge, but the 6 that he banged over deep mid wicket of the bowling of Patrick Cummins was something to really a shot to behold. The pull shot clearing the rope. And then 18 overs were gone, 17 runs were taken off that particular over, and the Sri Lankans needed 29 from 12 balls at that particular stage, and it was Hasranga de Silva at the crease, and Hazelwood was the bowler. And in that particular over, we saw Pathum Nissanka, who had definitely done the job of the sheet anchor for them, really holding the innings together when the other batsmen were not able to really combine with him. And Nissanka, in the company of the all-rounder Hasranga and also the tail-enders, but Nissanka in this particular over, we saw that Hazelwood's first delivery, I mean, what Nissanka showed here, he made 73, but what he showed here is that he is someone on Sri Lanka who can bang, because if he stays till the end, he showed that he can wield the long handle in a much better manner, and that's what he precisely did. In fact, this was a ball from the third delivery of it was the 19th over in progress, and Hazelwood was the bowler. But this was a big strike by Pathum Nissanka over the deep mid-wicket. Maxwell did very well to get to the ball, but he could not cling on, and it resulted in a 6 as the ball went over the rope. After that, it was the wicket of Hasaranga. Hazelwood, with his last delivery of the 19th over, managed to get the wicket. But before that, let us also understand that Hazelwood, barring that 6, I thought he was bowling well. And then Hazelwood also claimed Hasaranga's wicket, as he was caught at deep point when he tried to thrash a ball through the point region. And at the end of over 19, 10 runs were taken, and the Sri Lankans were 146 for 7. 19 runs were required from 6 deliveries. And Aaron Finch deciding that he trusted Marcus Stoinis to do the job, even though Nissanka was at the crease. The first ball was a wide Yorker from Stoinis, and the second ball that he bowled to Nissanka lofted it over the mid-off region for a boundary. And then after that, after that, in the third delivery, Nissanka was sent back to the pavilion by Marcus Stoinis. Now, this was a slower ball, basically from Marcus Stoinis, and Nissanka was trying to pull that delivery, but he could not keep it down as the ball went into the air. Cummins took the catch, but what an innings from Pathum Nissanka. Caught Cummins bowled, Stoinis 73 of 91 deliveries, 7 fours and 2 sixes. And now, but there was still some work to be done because, as you know, in the final over, Stoinis bowling 19 to win. The runs were taken, 7 runs were taken, and also Nissanka was gone. So that essentially meant another 13 runs were required for the Sri Lankans to cross the line. Enters Mahesh Theekshana. Now, Mahesh Theekshana, we know he's an all-rounder, but what a shot from Mahesh Theekshana. This was a sort of a big moment, but not definitely a wonderful moment to watch in this particular game when Theekshana threw his bat around. It was he basically tried to flick it, this was basically Stoinis was the bowler who was bowling to Theekshana, and this was a ball which was hit by Theekshana into the onside, and Stephen Smith was herring for that. And what an extraordinary save! In fact, Stephen Smith, this was one of the extraordinary catches in international cricket. That Stephen Smith probably trying to get to the ball but could not keep himself in control, and he basically went over the rope, and it was declared a six. But one thing that one has to feel for Stephen Smith, as I said, if he had taken that catch, would have been an extraordinary catch, but it was not to be. But on the other side, what happened was Stephen Smith fell on his head, and he has done immense damage. And very unfortunately, I have to say, the news that comes in says that Stephen Smith is out of the T20 series. That's a big blow for the Aussies. After that, so 6 runs were taken. There were still some runs to get at that stage, because if you look at it, it was 19. Stoinis was bowling 19 to win. So I'm just trying to see. They had taken 7, and then this particular 6 coming up, and finally this was they needed 6 to win, and they needed 4 for a super over, and the boundary was scored by Theekshana took a bye, so a single was taken, and in the final delivery, all eyes were on this particular delivery from Marcus Stoinis to Chamira, Dushmantha Chamira. He definitely has the ability to swing the ball into the crowd, and we saw that today as the low full toss from Marcus Stoinis was hit with tremendous power by Chamira as he thumped it down the ground for a mighty 6, and that was all over. So as I said, it was 6 to win and 4 for a super over, and Chamira went on to hit the 6. Went down to hit a boundary. In fact, it went 1 bounce into the fence, and it was a boundary, and so that ended in a super over. So it came, and after that, that was the final over. In fact, it was all over. It has gone into the super over, but what a game from the Sri Lankans. I mean, they really showed some great fight here, and getting the match to tie up with the Aussies, and that resulted in a super over. The Sri Lankans were the first to bat in the super over, and it was Shanaka and Dasun Shanaka and Chandimal coming into bat, but definitely Shanaka could not do much, and over and above that, Dinesh Chandimal got run out. So definitely Hazelwood was the bowler. He was not giving anything away. A wonderful spell from him kept the Sri Lankans to just 5 runs. And definitely with 5 runs, it was going to be very difficult to defend. And that's what precisely happened as Stoinis and Maxwell. Stoinis hit 2 boundaries and completed the issue. That was the end of this particular game, with the Aussies winning the match in the T20 in over. As I told you, I took you down to the excitement. Now I'm going to talk about this particular game. We'll give a sort of a synopsis here of what really went on. So, as I said, this was Australia versus Sri Lanka. This was played at the Sydney Cricket Ground, the second T20. George Hazelwood, with 3 for 22, was named man of the match. The Australian innings. Look at the Australian innings. Australians batted first, and they put up 164 for 6 on the board. Ben McDermott making 18 of 15 deliveries. We had Nuwan Tushara actually making his T20 debut today. Not a very good debut, one could call, if you look at his bowling figures. He went for 40 runs, and in the bargain, he picked up the wicket, a big wicket, one could say, of Ben McDermott. As you know, Ben McDermott can be dangerous, and as Ben McDermott tried a big shot there, and at long on, it was De Silva, Sri Lanka taking the catch, and that is the end of Ben McDermott for 18, 15 deliveries, 3 fours. Aaron Finch contributed 25. He was a victim. He was stumped by Chandimal of the bowling of De Silva. Finch did not look his old self at all. He was really struggling, as he really probably, that is the precise reason Finch actually walked down the wicket to Hasaranga. But Hasaranga has a wonderful disguise googly. That's what he precisely did. Chandimal brought off one of the stumpings, and Aaron Finch was on his way. Stumped Chandimal bowled this of 25 of 20 deliveries, 3 boundaries. But Josh Inglis was the highest scorer today with a nice innings of 48. Definitely would have loved to get his T20 50, but it was not to be. But nevertheless, he played a good knock of 48 runs, and his wicket was definitely credit to a really screaming catch taken by the captain Dasun Shanaka, as it was Inglis actually going inside out to actually put the ball over the cover region. But Shanaka put in a nice dive and picked it up just inches above the turf, and that was the end of Josh Inglis. But a nice innings. It was an important innings at that, one could call, because 48 runs was the highest score of 32 deliveries, included 5 boundaries. After that, we saw Glenn Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell's wicket was gone to Theekshana. Caught Chandimal bowled Theekshana for 15 of 12 deliveries, 2 boundaries. Stephen Smith contributed 14. Shamira picking up his wicket. I thought Shamira did a good job in the death overs, picking up some vital wickets and putting a bit of a spanner there in the Australians' works to get to a good total. But in the end, the Aussies managed 164 for 6. Matthew Wade was not out on 13 of 4 deliveries, 1 4 and 1 6. Cummins was not out on 6 of 4 deliveries. And that was pretty much the story of the Australian innings. Now, let's get on to the card, the bowling card there. The Sri Lankans, Dushmantha Chamira, 4 overs, no more than 2 for 30. He has been doing a good job, I thought, in this T20. Nuwan Tushara on his debut, 1 for 40. Mahesh Theekshana bowled a lot better than the previous T20, I thought, 1 for 31. 1 into Hasaranga De Silva. 4 overs, no maiden, 33 runs and 2 wickets, bowled superbly. Chamika Karunaratne, 4 overs, costing 28 runs without a wicket. Sri Lankan innings, 165 runs to win from 20 overs. And let's see what the Sri Lankans did. As I said, they had the sheet anchor there, and that was Pathum Nissanka. I mean, we can't call him a sheet anchor in T20 cricket, but definitely Pathum Nissanka was the one who held the innings together when the wickets were really falling around. Danushka Gunatulaka, who always likes to hit over the top, and especially in the power play overs, that is what you expect from an opener like Danushka Gunatulaka. And Gunatulaka tried to smack this, but it went straight to the cover region. McDermott made no mistake. Danushka Gunatulaka was gone. That was the first wicket that the Aussies claimed. Caught McDermott bowled Hazelwood for naught. The 1 wicket gone, 3 for 1 in the first over. After that, Avishka Fernando was a victim of the bowling of Josh Hazelwood. It was a wonderful catch, I thought, taken by Josh Inglis. It was the ball was driven high and handsome by Avishka Fernando, but I thought it was a nice dive put in by Josh Inglis to get rid of Avishka Fernando, the bowling. Hazelwood for 5 of 6 deliveries and 1 boundary. So score read 19 for 2. Charit Asalanka was walked out, but Pathum Nissanka, as I said, he was someone who was holding the innings together. He was, but also playing some good strokes as well. Any loose ball that was bowled to him, Pathum Nissanka was dispatching it for boundary. And Charit Asalanka was the next to go, and the Sri Lankans kept slumping as the score at 25 for 3 when Charit Asalanka lost his stumps to Pat Cummins as the ball straightened, and Charit Asalanka chopped that ball onto his stumps, and Asalanka was gone, bowled by Cummins for naught. And then there was really serious trouble for the Sri Lankans at 25 for 3. And that was the 4.4 overs. So basically into the power play overs. Dinesh Chandimal walked in And then we had a small partnership, not a big partnership, but definitely there was some sanity being restored by these two batsmen, especially Dinesh Chandimal combining with Pathum Nissanka as the score moved on. It moved on to another 35, 42 runs were added before Adam Zampa was into the mix, and Adam Zampa claimed the wicket of Dinesh Chandimal. The ball was tossed up. Chandimal wanted to really have a big go at it, but he totally missed it. As you say in cricket, you miss and I hit. And that's what precisely happened as his middle stump was out of the ground. Dinesh Chandimal was gone, bowled by Zampa for 19, and the Sri Lankans were reeling at the time. They were 67 for 4. Dasun Shanaka, the captain, walked in. And now, Dasun Shanaka really looked like the way he played. He took the attack to Adam Zampa, the spinner, and he clouted him for a couple of sixes, I reckon. And it was at the other end was Pathum Nissanka, who was really confidence personified, and he was trying to hold his end up there as the next wicket to go. After I thought Dasun Shanaka did a good job because the score at 67 for 4, but from there in on, it was a 48-run partnership, and Dasun Shanaka, as I said, meant business right from the word go. As Dasun Shanaka played a good hand, I thought, in this particular period. That is the precise reason, because of Dasun Shanaka coming in and forcing the pace that really enabled the Sri Lankans to have a real go at the Australian total, I thought, because Dasun Shanaka's contribution was a very important factor as he contributed 34 of 19, 2 fours and 3 sixes, and Stephen Smith today was fielding brilliantly, and he ran out Dasun Shanaka. That was a big blow for them. 115 for 5 in the 16th over. It was a direct hit from Stephen Smith as he picked up the ball, because Nissanka had just worked the ball through the mid-wicket region, and Shanaka probably a bit slow, I suppose, but Smith actually gathering it and just firing the return at the non-striker's end, and that was it. There was no work to be done. The ball went and hit the bullseye, and that was the end of Dasun Shanaka. Gone, run out for 34 of 19, 2 fours and 3 sixes. Chamika, and then Chamika Karna, and then after that, I really detailed you the story. Karna Ratne, Chamika Karna, who also has the ability to hit the ball high, was out to the bowling of Richardson. I'm just trying to see. Yes, Cain Richardson was playing today, and Chamika Karna Ratne it was a top edge. It was a bouncer. He wanted to pull it, got a top edge. It was taken by Matthew Wade. That is the end of Chamika Karna Ratne, 115 for 6 in the 17th over. And as I said, after that, it was a very tough going, but the Sri Lankans coming up trumps, I would say, and they really mastered it. 46 required from 3 overs, 29 required from 12 overs, and the final bargain was 19 runs required of the final over, and the Sri Lankans did it as they leveled the scores at 164 for 8, dragging it to the super over, but the Aussies proved superior to the super over as only 5 runs to defend as they went on to win the second T20 at the 5-match T20 series between Australia and Sri Lanka. Stands at Australia taking the lead 2-0. With the third match coming up on Tuesday. The bowling figures: Josh Hazelwood on the money, 4 overs, no made, 22 runs and 3 wickets. Pat Cummins, 4 overs, 1 for 30. Marcus Stoinis is 1 for 30, 3 overs, a bit costly there. Cain Richardson, 1 for 44, getting his first game this T20. Adam Zampa, 1 for 26. Then Maxwell, 1 for 4. And the game was all over. But what a game of cricket we had here. The second T20 was an absolutely marvelous to watch. It was, as I said, it was with thrills, chills, and spills. One could call it, as we call it in international cricket. And now, very quickly, I have a sneak peek here at the Indian Premier League 2022 auction that is going on. The news that it comes here is that Mumbai Indians have claimed Jofra Archer. I think that's a big buy for the Mumbai Indians. They've gone for Jofra Archer. Tim David from the Singaporean has also made the cut. I mean, he has been taken by Mumbai Indians as well. And Tim David, let me tell you, he is one bloke who can really hit the ball right from the first delivery. He's a tremendous hitter of a cricket ball, according to me. We have seen him in all those leagues, in the PSL, in a lot of other leagues that he has been playing around. He has been doing a great job, and I think that's a big buy for the Mumbai Indians. as far as Liam Livingstone is concerned, the Punjab Kings have claimed. I think it's Punjab Kings. I'm just trying to. Yes, Punjab Kings have claimed Liam Livingstone he's another millionaire today. The first millionaire was Liam Livingstone today. Other than that, I'm trying to see whether there's any other. Some prominent players have gone unsold. Just to mention the names here: Suresh Raina, Morgan, Amit Mishra. Morgan has really come as a surprise for me. I know he's in a bit of a his form is in a bit of a dawdle, but I'm really concerned about that. Colin Munro does not find any takers. Shakib Hassan has also gone unsold. Aaron Finch has been sold. Stephen Smith, for my money, for my thinking, is really beyond me. Moises Enriquez, the all-rounder. David Veazey, Cain Richardson, Martin Guptill, Andrew Tai, Piyush Chawla, Ishan Sharma, Manus Labuschagne has been unsold. David Mallon has gone unsold. Imran Tahir, Mujibur Rahman, and Adil Rashid. Taimal Mills has also been playing for Mumbai Indians. And as you know, Mahela Jayawardene is the coach of the Mumbai Indians. He's coached them in the 100. And I think they have a nice composition this time. And other than that, I'm trying to see whether the Kolkata Knight Riders, they have got Sam Billings. I think that's a big buy for them. Sam Billings in some great form, one could call. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. But as I said, it was all about this wonderful, wonderful match that happened in the second T20 between Australia and Sri Lanka. It was an absolute beauty. Well, dear fans and subscribers, it has been a pleasure bringing you this broadcast here on the second T20, which went into the Super Over and the Aussies won it. Well, that's it from me, your host Ram, for the Cricket Show of today. Hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. Looking forward to your company. As you know, I normally come only on the weekends. So on the weekends, I'll be back on Saturday covering the week's events, as you all know. And also, I always remind everybody in a very friendly manner that I normally don't come on weekdays, as you know, with my other chores, my office chores. But let me tell you one thing here, that I also have my cricket website. If you have time, go there and have a look at it, www.cricket-status.com. But the best bet for you would be my Twitter page as well. Cricket tweeting is something which I do on a very normal basis. Twitter, you can go to my Twitter, Ramswai74 is my Twitter page. You can go over there. I do tweet on cricket at times. And also the other thing that I do is that is Cricket Buddies. Now, Cricket Buddies is coming as a part of the Cricket Reddit team, and Cricket Buddies is something where they actually invited me to do a brief. So on weekdays, just to be in touch with cricket and just to be in touch with everybody, I go on to Cricket Buddies and I write a brief. I wouldn't say blogs. I write briefs on cricket, short briefs on cricket, one could call. Well, dear fans, it was an absolute pleasure describing you the happenings in the second T20 between Australia and Sri Lanka. And that's it from me, your host Ram, for the Cricket Show of today, and rest coming up on Saturday. Until then, it's goodbye.